Lambo. Marshall. Ashley, can you hear me? Yes, I'm here. Okay, but what you can do is that you can leave the Discord, once you're in, and we can go to chat, game chat. A minute, and then I'm going to go into the opening, and then you're still going to need to invite us in, I'll invite him. Keegan, how's it? Yes, we are still figuring it out. So I'll let your dad. Hello, my Jakes. Yeah, we do. Sure. Okay, let's go. Welcome guys, it is Renault 3.5 V8 qualifying. We're just getting the last couple of guys into the lobby. In the background I do have don't even know what to call him, my partner in crime, co-commentator. Let's take that. Yes, indeed, Stephen, and we are just waiting to get going, and we are going to be going around the Red Bull Ring for a qualifying. The format for this evening is we're going to be getting the guys to have the 3 sessions of 15 minutes each, and to go and set their fastest time. Once that fastest time has been set, it will be loaded, and then we'll basically be moving on to the next lobbies. We've got 6 lobbies this evening. We're running with a 15-minute each. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and the times today are going to be very close. So I'm not too sure what happened there. It looks like that I disconnected from that lobby, so I'm just rejoining quickly. Hopefully I don't have any further issues. I just want to see if I don't have any clashing problems. See, the invites are coming back in. Unfortunately, Ashley, I was clashing there. Just give me a sec. Just want to see if I'm not clashing with anyone. Just going into the actual game screen itself. So it looks like I am clear. Let's just get that back. Okay, Ashley, you are able to leave the Discord if you can. Okay, so while we're loading up, let's just have a quick look at the car that the guys are going to be driving. It is a V8, 530 horsepower, at the top speed of 300 kilometers an hour. Doesn't quite get it on this track, it's a little bit tighter. But having a look at some of the guys doing the qualifying, the qualifying, I think, is going to be extremely close, and the reason being is that there are already 4 drivers that have qualified for the tier 1, which is basically our alpha tier, and that's because we got 2 seeded drivers, 2 current champions, which is Christopher. He did win. I have just disconnected once again. It looks like it. So we'll just have to get that started up. Apologies, guys. This is unfortunately not what we expect, but obviously with it being the first event, we're going to start having these little teething issues. I'm not sure if I pushed a button, but I'm pretty sure that I didn't. So to the guys that are on the stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're already seeing some of the guys saying that they unfortunately cannot hear Steven. Let's give it a go. Steven, just say something and let's see if the guys can hear you, please. So Keegan was saying, sorry, can't hear Steven. Keegan, please can you confirm? Give us a message and let's see whether we can get Steven heard. So some of the guys that have joined us, we've got Alexander Genesco. I'm sorry if I absolutely butchered your name there, but welcome. Brandon Hills, he's going woohoo. He can't wait to get onto the lap. And his little comment to Lendl is Klapper Lendl. I'm actually wondering if these two aren't going to be teaming up for the series. Both Brandon and Lendl qualifying in tier 1 for our V8. Okay, Steven, just give us something. Let's just see if the guys can hear you yet. They're still saying they're not able to hear you. So I've actually just confirmed my theory. Brandon's come through and said we are, and they're racing as racing butts. That's very special. It sounds like you guys are from Four Ways. Ah, and Keegan Stoltz. It's actually not Keegan Stoltz. It is actually Jake's. Well, Jakes, it is lacquer to have you watching. Okay, so I'm loaded up once again. Let's see if I can get back into the lobby. There was the invite I needed. Sorry guys for the technical problems we are currently experiencing, but I'm sure that we'll go straight into the lobby now. So Steven, do we have any lap times that have currently come up yet? Or the guys still on their right lap? Well, that's absolutely fantastic news. That's exactly what we want. The closer the time, the better the racing. So there we go. My screen is officially up. I can now officially see everything. And Lendl, oh, my wife is calling. Chase, time for you to go to bed, boy. I'm sending him to bed, Mosheri. Love you. I hope you're watching this stream. I cannot agree with you anymore. So guys, if you do want to find out more about our sponsors, just go down to the description. We have put up the links there to the individual companies, and by just checking them out, you are definitely helping them and just getting the awareness out there. So very interestingly, Lendl, he still leads with a 1:16.5, and I know that some of the fastest times there in the practice, Marius, he managed to get himself into a 1:16.1, but now he's about 1.1 seconds off that fastest time. Very interestingly enough is Craig, and what you're seeing there is 80. That is actually Connor in a 1:17.9, but I can expect these times to start dropping down to the 1:16s at least. actually think that might have been him. Sorry there to jump in there, Steven. It might have actually been him up at the top there coming out of Remus. That might be a disconnection. No, that might have been. It might have just been him going into. Might have just been him going into the pits. But let's see if that's. Sorry, Gerard in third place. He's just on a 117.3, so he's moved himself up the order, which has now dropped Craig further down into fourth. Ashley, he's in fifth, and Marshall moving up there with Connor now moving down the order in seventh place. So there's Connor, actually one of the young drivers driving out of the, I want to say PE, but I'm not too sure of the series, but I know that he is involved with thank you very much. I got a little voice in my ear there from East London Karting. So he will be a fair to the single seaters. And sorry, Ashley, if we are putting you off. But this is the first session of 6 happening. The drivers will each get 3 different chances to come and put down their fastest time. Those times will then be collected, and we will then put them up on a roster to determine the top 12 that will go into the top 16 in Alpha tier, and then the next 16 will go into the Bravo tier. We see that Morris has also gone a little bit quicker. He's now managed to get into those 16s. So guys, please just let me know if you can hear Steven now. We think we might have solved this. Then I will disrupt the stream. Hold on. So unfortunately, we have lost Ashley, and it seems like we might have lost some drivers with him. Morris here has managed to get into a 116.3. What we will do, however, the drivers that did disconnect, we will make sure that we have them recorded. We will make sure that those times are logged, so at least they do have one time added there. But Morris, he has now gone quickest with a 116.36. Lendl is in second place. Craig, he's in third with Gerard a 117.3. Oh, big hit there for Connor, taking out their braking marker. So just looking further down the order, that is Steven in 6th place with a 118.2. We then have Rainmeister in 8th position. New to the series, he's decided that he wanted to come and join us. 9th place, that is Stoltz, which is actually Robert. In 10th place, that is Colin. We then have Mihai, who's Wolf, in 11th place. He's also new. Joining us from Italy this evening. Welcome to the SARCO Championship. In 12th place, that is Dane with a 121.1. And at the bottom there, in 13th place, that is Memel, not being able to put on a lap time just yet. So a 1 minute remaining of the session. So Steven, just want to check in to see if the guys can hear you yet, because I have played around with some of those settings. So I'm getting a bit of feedback from your microphone all of a sudden, which means that we're probably hearing you twice. I don't know. So we have 9 seconds. The guys will be on their final lap. And that's it. That qualifying session is over. Morris, he goes quickest with a 116.3, with Lendl in second place with a 116.5. Craig, he's third fastest. That's a great result there for him. So there we go, guys. That is the final results. While we're just waiting for Ross to get the next session up, we just want to see whether you guys on the stream are able to hear my co-commentator, Steven. So to the guys on the stream, please, on YouTube, we can see that you're there. Let us know if you can hear Steven while we get the new invites. There they come. We're going to be heading off now, but please just drop us a message. So unfortunately, Steven, the guys are not able to hear you. Not quite sure what's going on. But let's go. I can hear you, most definitely. So I'll have to do it as if I'm translating for them. But the people are saying, we won, Steven. Okay, have you got your invite, Steven?
Dylan's commentary.
Okay, so
Second qualifying round for this evening.
what sort of times are you getting, Ross?
Okay, so
mid-16s. If I'm lucky, at like a 16-2 or something.
I'm here. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We're gonna try one last
I
time.
saw that. Right, Gav is here. Jake's. Where's Jake?
Find an invite. I'll send it. Jake's isn't taking part.
Seems that
Is he
my
not?
voice
Why
just
not?
doesn't
Oh,
want to
'cause
be
he's
carried
already
on
in.
the
Right,
airwaves this
On,
evening.
yeah, and he's
Right.
automatic, yeah.
Right. Right, we need Dane.
Steven, we have you. Welcome.
I am
yes.
Connor's
Fantastic.
AD Alexander. That's probably why
Fantastic.
the confusion is there.
This
Oh, is he
is
coming
good news.
in
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for the warm
because he
invitation
got kicked
and
out
for
or
the warm
something?
welcome.
No.
We
He's in.
are
Dylan sent me
live
what you did,
here
he's in 1,
on
2, and
YouTube
3.
this evening,
Oh, right.
coming
Okay.
to you from around South Africa and around the world. Sitting,
As long as we're in it,
waiting for the second qualifying round. Starts here with the South African Racing Community Online Formula V8 3.5 League, a brand new league that we're starting tonight. Our sponsors having brought you this stream, continuing to do so very proudly from VX Gaming, NASCOM, and Deliver Your Parcel.
Oh, we can hear
All
Steven
great
now.
local companies in South Africa that deserve our support as much as all of the
Dylan needs to be
races in
broadcast.
tonight's
What happened,
proceedings do.
I don't know. I just couldn't get a lap together.
So thank you everybody for your feedback, giving us the feedback on the stream. We now have Steven, plus we have in-game
Slow it down.
Can you believe
Yeah,
it?
exactly. That's the only thing I gotta do. Only thing I gotta do.
Finally, we are there. We managed to get ourselves there.
Just
One to
looking at
another,
the
we
screen,
are
I got it
right?
right.
That is the sessions for this evening. Ross is now the host. We then have Brando, Craig, Donovan. That is Christopher, one of our current
Who's picking up that sound in the background of the live stream?
I am.
Thank you.
You could put it down a bit, please.
No, he's not listening to it. He's just really.
Then have Gavin, Jake's, he's on racing, that is actually taken by Connor. Then have Jane, that is Kia, Pete,
See what the state?
then we have Robert again, he was in our first squad. Then have Tim, that is actually Alex, driving from Norway.
I'm here, but
And Memo in
Donovan
the 16th position
Craig
for
is
this
here,
evening.
and Brando is here. Okay, so we're only missing Pierre, who's not online, and Mimo, who was just in the previous
Which
session.
was just online, yeah. As you can see, it's qualifiers. There's like stacks of people online.
We've just had Ivan Newman joining us on the stream. Ivan Halsey, welcome to the qualifiers.
Still sitting in the other lobby.
Guys, thank you
Yeah,
so
they're
much for your patience.
In the previous lobby. I've sent him one now anyway. With all
Yeah.
coaxing him to come with us.
Ross, please could invite Steven to the lobby. We cannot do this without him.
Oh, that's too kind of you. Really
I
do
actually
give
don't
me
have
too
his
much credit.
name.
Yeah, I don't think I have it either.
Steven, we've realized that
Oh,
the guys
right.
watching the stream don't think it's the same.
Somebody gone?
Steven indeed.
They give me too much credit as well. No, it's a big
Steven
privilege
is
to
dead.
be here commentating alongside
Maybe
Dylan
look
Hall,
at
the founder
players'
of
mates
one of the
voting
founders
for
of
Fireplace.
South African racing community online. In this fantastic game, Project Cars 2. You know what? In the meantime, I would like to discuss a little topic that's come up. We have, almost all of us, I'm sure, have
Someone
seen
managed to
this topic come up. Project Cars 3. It has now been announced. It is an
what is
official
this
thing.
PSN?
It is happening. And it's coming in the American summer of 2020, as far as I understand, which is not that far away. So this game is dividing people all over the world because of the radical new take that the developers
Yeah, I can't
are using on Project Cars. And it seems that it is taking on a bit more of a Need for Speed kind of vibe. I don't know if you picked that up, Dylan.
Steven, and before we actually went into this, you said to me, are we going to bring it up? And now we can see your face, you can see my disappointment. When I saw it initially, I was like, that's amazing. But as you start seeing the customization and going and doing the wonderful paint jobs, it did take me to Gran Turismo, and I've always been a Gran Turismo fanboy, without a doubt.
Of course.
What I loved about Project Cars 1 was the way the car felt on the track. Moving it over to Project Cars 2, I did that purely because the GTS hadn't come out yet. When I drove GTS, for me, because I've spent so much time on Project Cars, GTS just felt numb to me. What I hope that the guys developing Project Cars 3 have not done is focus too much on the cosmetics of the game and have forgot about the actual racing.
Fingers crossed, I hear you loud and clear on that particular issue, because what is attractive about Project Cars is that it is a simulator, and that it is a fantastic game that will only be, it continues to be what it is only if it's not fiddled with. And it's a formula for success, as we already know. Yep. So why must they be fiddling with it? That is the question that a lot of people are going to be asking. And that is why you'll notice Need for Speed appears to have switched, although it is not a simulator, it appears to have switched into, or split into, two different types of racing. You've got one which is simulator kind of vibe, something like Need for Speed Shift and Shift 2. And then you had all of the arcade style races, so Hot Pursuit and more recently Heat and so on. So it's now catering to both markets. It's a very, very attractive idea. Maybe Project Cars is trying something like that themselves.
Just to cut in there, just accept the invite so the guys in the background can get going, and we're able to get to the racing. Have you got your lobby invite?
Ready, and I'm in, and I am.
You just need to accept the invite to be
I'm ready to go.
director. So to Morris and Lendl, if you would like to join us in the commentary box during this qualifying, feel free to just jump on the Discord for us, and let's get chatting.
It's nice to have some drivers in the box with us. You know, I appreciate that about the Le Mans 24 hours. When you have drivers who are either retired drivers not participating in the race that year, or drivers who are on a break from down there, they will come up and they'll provide a little bit of commentary on proceedings as they go. And nothing provides as much realism and as much up to the minute information as that from somebody who is on track themselves. He knows what it's like to be behind the wheel. Exactly.
So just to give everybody an update. Oh, there we go. I just saw a message coming from Ross to say they're waiting for Memo, but it looks like we are going. So we will be able to get rid of our faces.
Please get my ugly mug off the screen.
But at least you can still hear us. Please give us a thumbs up if you can still hear us. we have changed our broadcasting software because the software that I was using during our 5x5 did give up the ghost, and it seems to be a little bit more sophisticated now.
Oh, here's a conversation starter. Was that software made by Apple?
Well, we don't know, do we?
They said the better, perhaps. Maybe they're looking at a sponsorship. If you are just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we are live this evening on YouTube. The South African Racing Community Online Formula V8 3.5 League. It's a brand new league that is beginning. Oh, wow. Coming out of the pits on fire there. I've never seen somebody come out of the pits in a power slide, come out of the pit garage itself. That's quite amazing.
Well, then clearly you haven't watched any of my races, because that's very much my style.
Watching Ross here coming out of the pits and onto the track. This is qualifying session number 2 of this evening.
Very interesting is during all the practices I was attending yesterday, the second fastest in those lobbies was actually Ross.
Wow. Oh, well, there we go. Challenge to beat, is it not?
So my Jakes, I know you're saying I'm echoing. I don't quite know how to fix that.
You're just lucky enough to hear Dylan's voice twice. That's
Maybe hopefully the engine noises in the background now will drown the echo. So in short,
the guys.
Steven, we have Morris who's joined us in the commentary box. Morris, how are we doing? How was that first session for you?
It's pretty tense. As you can see, the times are very, very close. You really have to push it now. I thought I'd be safe in a mid-16, but it wasn't a minute or two, there was already a mid-16. So I had to do an extra stint there. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Considering that you've got 2 other guys on the podium with you, and within a second of you, I think it's going to be very, very tight there on track this evening. Because a lot of these guys are going to be wanting to put their foot absolutely flat. As we have seen in the comments on YouTube, flat out is the way. Did you find yourself being ginger with the throttle at all tonight?
In some corners you have to squeeze, as Dylan knows, squeeze out the throttle. But what I like about this car, it is a bit wild.
Never Steven off.
But in most corners, you can, it makes you feel you've got confidence in it. That's why it's so nice to drive. You can really feel like you can push it. Wonderful.
There's a reason why these cars are known as the ideal trainers for Formula 1. I mean, apart from the fact that they look so similar to the Formula 1 cars of a few years ago, they are phenomenally fast. And weighing in at 620 kilograms, that's no heavy car that's coming around there. I mean, that is less than half the weight of most cars roads today, and of course more than double the power. These guys coming around here with, at the very minimum, 530 horsepower, 395 kilowatts in a 620 kilogram car. I beg your pardon. That is an insane power to weight ratio.
No, it's a beast for sure, and that's why it's such a big thrill to
I don't know if you saw that, but that was so close.
Yeah, that's
somebody had spun a turn number 3, and Connor just managed to avoid him going around the outside.
Taking out a few cones for good measure.
Morris, the question I have for you, will you be going quicker in your next session?
Well, I haven't gone the quickest I've gone yet, so let's see. I've got 2 stints left. Let's see if I can hit that 15.
No, awesome. Lucky to have you with
what's
us.
possible, but you have to do a near absolutely perfect lap. And on a track like this, with a few blind corners, you have to do it perfect every single time. So it's difficult. But let's see, there's a few very fast guys listening now.
Well, with just under 10 and a half minutes to go in this session, we have got a fastest time board coming from Christopher, 16.685. There is more than a second between Chris and Connor. I beg your pardon, not Connor. Who is ADI?
That is Connor. That is Connor.
Is it Connor? It is Connor, okay.
That's right. And keep your eye on Craig. Oops, there the stream goes away. No signal. Oh, there, back. Alright. Nice talking to you guys. It looks like I have to almost get ready for my next session.
Yep. Morris, thanks so much for joining us. We'll chat to you later.
Thanks a lot.
That's exactly why we are lucky enough to have some of the drivers join us in the commentary box to provide us with their insight on how their racing has been going. We can expect more action tonight and more insight coming from those drivers as they join us in the pit box when they've got some time to make it up here. And we will be able to tell you, that's a big off there. That is a big off from Christopher.
Pushing it to the max. I wish we had the replay, but you can see he's gone straight back into the garage and going straight back out once again.
Luckily coming out with the second car. That must be the fastest driver change I've ever in my life. I think there might be two Christophers on that basis, and he is going to come out now and try to maintain his hold on pole position there, because Connor coming in now with a blistering time of 1:16.777. That is less than 1/100th of a second slower than Christopher this evening. Third place.
So third place, that is actually Ronaldo. We've actually seen it in him. So he's currently in the top 4 that do not have to put in a qualifying time for this. And that's purely because he finished second in our Bravo tier in the Super V8s that we had. And we promoted him into the Alpha tier directly. And that was because he was basically winning the championship until the last race, was not able to enter due to some net issues. So he was disconnected and not able to finish the race. And Marshall actually ended up winning that. So both Marshall and Ronaldo have been promoted. So the guys are fighting for 12 positions to get themselves into the Alpha tier.
Well, he has got everything to play for tonight in that case. He's just come out of the pits and on to straight, heading up the hill to turn number 2 on the Red Bull Ring. The Grand Prix circuit this evening, no doubt one of the most exciting races on the Formula 1 calendar when it does come up. And it's just a really, really nice track, and I think he will be able to make some real good progress here tonight if he focuses on his driving and he's able to keep himself in that top 4 and get in there with a really competitive time. At this point in time, he is just over 200th of a second from pole.
So sorry, there's 6th place, that's Brandon Hills. He's starting to move up the order on this 170.4. Brandon going very stealth for us there, not sure why, but he's still in the lobby, so that's all really well.
New car, it's a new car design, you see, it's a busy cloak.
Love it.
But it does. Oh no! There we go. He must have had a disconnect. Back to the
The person I'm actually looking forward to seeing, that's Pete. He's done 12. During some of the practices, his header was basically just knocking on the door of that 16. So I'm surprised to see he's a little bit further down in the 119. Excuse me.
Yeah, interesting that the lower order there are some pretty quick drivers here. Maybe they are having some trouble with this car. Maybe it is pulling the wool over their eyes. Look at position number 14. That is Steven. Why so far down the list? He has got 5 seconds, just under 5 seconds with the gap between him and pole. And 5 seconds might not seem a lot if you don't know racing all that well, but 5 seconds in cars like these, it is a lifetime. That can be the difference between starting at the bottom of the main straight, as you can see on the screen now, and crossing over the finish line. 5 seconds is a big gap, and there's all to do. I see Steven has now managed to move up to a 118 exactly. It seems that my commentary has spurred him on, moving up from 14th up to 9th place.
But just remember, the guys are probably just trying to let those nerves settle. You think it's all fun and games until you actually get into the car and realize that you've actually got to do this for real. That's Robert in front of Steven, so one of them are going to be impacted in terms of their lap. You just need to see if any one of them will move out of the way. There we go. So, it was actually Robert who ended up spinning it. So fortunately for Steven, no damage done there. But that's Steven going back into the pit, so he wasn't happy with something there.
Let's draw our attention to our man in front, Christopher, still putting in some solid times, just under 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining of this qualifying session. But we have a new leader. We have a new fastest man at the top, Ross, coming in with a brilliant time, 1:16.654 there. Wow, that is a really close gap between first and second this evening. Let's switch our camera view over there to our man in front, our new champion, our new man who's going to lead from the top. If he manages to stay there, I'm sure Christopher will be looking now to make up that extra teeny tiny little bit of time, less than 1/100th of a second.
You can see Ross really pushing it, going down to turn number 3, just a minor lockup. And I know that the time that has been set, this is probably quite close to Ross's personal best. So whether he can find that extra 0.2 or 0.3 to get closer to Marius's time, that's what interests me. So great shots of the cockpit view from our Scottish International. See now going through the last corner, a little bit widely. Would have liked it to apex just a little bit earlier as he crosses the line. Will he go quicker? No, he doesn't. So he will
straight back into the pits.
Yes, he will definitely just jump out of that. In 7th place we have Gavin. So Gavin joined us halfway through our Super V8 series last year. It's good to see him now joining us for a full season. Gavin looking pretty comfortable, but quite solidly in the middle field with a 117.4. But you can see how close it is up at the top.
Let's see what
Ross has gone quicker. Apologies. There I said Ross didn't go quicker. It didn't change. But now Ross has gone to a 116.52. 1.016 faster than Christopher. Whoa, that was DRS too soon.
Big off for Gavin
there. Unfortunately, coming out of turn 1 a little bit too enthusiastically.
So Gavin will have to do one full lap, and it takes on your right lap about a 1:23. So he's got 2 minutes, so he'll have about 30 seconds to spare. But the question is, will he have those tyres up to temperature quick enough in one lap?
I don't think so somehow. It seems like he might have to be satisfied with a 117.4, putting him in 7th place at this point in time, provided there isn't a shake-up in the order. We have a new leader, Mr. Hall, coming in at the very top. Craig with a very, very quick time. He's faster even than Ross.
I'd actually got a little secret. So what I did, by accident, I don't know. I went and put up some messages on our Discord and I said, I've seen a 151. This afternoon Craig phones me, he's battling, he wants to get in. But he's saying what he's doing is 116 and I'm a second off this 115. And I said, sorry Craig, I actually made a mistake. And here he goes and puts in the fastest time.
Wow. Motivation? Certainly seems like it. We have all to play for at the moment, Ross. Let's see how far around his lap he is. He finds himself in the pits. I think he's going to stay there, considering there's only about 35 seconds to go with of this qualifying session. Maybe he's happy with the fact that he's got a second place. Christopher out there. That might be a little bit too short of a time to find himself coming in with a new fast lap. Oh, there's a bit of a slide going into then number 3, it looks like.
So we have seen that we've just been given our new invites, but just a couple of seconds left in the session. Oh. Got a little tongue twister there.
Happens to everybody. At least there aren't any red lorries and yellow lorries on track tonight.
No, red lorries, yellow lorries, I can say.
And here we go, guys putting in their final laps now, if they are still out on a flying lap. And some of the radios from some of the guys doing a little bit of motivation in the background, perhaps in the lobby, talking to each other, finding out exactly how they did. Let's see who is still out there. Seems everybody is done with their practice here and with their qualifying as well. So I say one last one, here comes it is the end of qualifying session number 2. Looking at our leaderboard here. In first place, Craig, 116.4. Ross coming up very, very fast behind him with 116.520. And in third place, Christopher, 116.685. If that doesn't set up a very close starting grid in the top 3 positions, I don't know what does. Coming in fourth place, Brandon with a 116.758, and less than 20 thousandths of a second later. Who is AD Alexander? Is that one of our guests?
Sorry, it just took me a little bit to get into this lobby, but let me just go and accept the invite for Ashley. So we don't have any guests in our Discord just yet. So I'm just getting up some of the lap times, and we'll be able to put together a...
That's not going to turn down the music, the background music. It's going to turn everything down.
Yeah, it's going to turn it all down. So all you do is you hold the PlayStation button and output your headphones. Just put chat audio only for now.
No, but I don't want to. I'll be messing around during this qualifying, and I need to get from a 17 to a 16.
To get from a 20 to a 90.
Tyler, you're only something.
So some of the chat in the background is actually pretty funny.
Don't start, eh?
Hello, Tyler. Terry.
Talk there, Terry.
I think these guys like doing, it's revving each other up. Some say it's motivation.
Come on, boy, plug your iPod earphones into your remote, man. Your phone, Borden.
We got 3 lobbies.
Right, and we are now waiting for session number 3, qualifying session number 3 to begin this evening of the SARCO Formula V8 League. Coming to you live on YouTube, brought to you by
Where's your
VX Gaming,
iPhone speakers?
the guys who developed and very proudly host the SARCO website, as well as deliver your parcel. The courier partner,
I'm like, this is not
deliver
working.
all of your stuff.
Yeah, I can hear you on my phone, not on the speaker.
So guys,
You're not coming through on the game, but
updating some points here.
just unplug them and plug them back in into the right.
Druk hom diep in.
Yeah, he says, Vaughn, druk him deep in, but
Yeah, hold on. Yes, this remote, it's difficult with the remote.
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you on my phone, but I'm not hearing you through the speakers.
Yeah, I can hear Vaughn.
It was working now, I was chatting to my brother.
Oh, were you?
I can hear Vaughn.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay, cool. Alright, just check it out.
Yeah, no, I'll sort it out.
Alright, lekker, but good luck, eh? Have fun, man.
Yeah, just first time I'd raced this afternoon.
Can you hear all of us talking? But we're talking flat out. So if you're not hearing us, then there's something not like
Waiting
with
for
the
that lobby to
speakers there.
start. Perhaps a little bit of history about the Red Bull Ring, located in Austria,
Cool, but
and has hosted the Austrian Grand Prix for 18
Good luck,
consecutive years. The original version of that track, of course, hosting the Austrian Grand Prix for those years between 1970 and 1987. It did receive one heck of a makeover, and it reopened as the Red Bull Ring on the 15th of May 2011, and it then immediately hosted the 2011 season of the Deutsche Touring Cars and a round of the 2011 F2 Championship. Formula One then made a very, very welcome return to the Red Bull Ring in the 2014 season. Of course, it was confirmed just 2 days ago that Formula One will hold back-to-back races on the 5th and the 12th of July to start the 2020 season, and that is going to be happening at the Red Bull Ring. It will also be hosting the first four races of the F2 Championship and the F3 Championship, both scheduled for this year. But to give you an idea of how close our guys are within the eSports community to the real racing out there, the Formula One drivers such as Kimi Raikkonen during a race last year in 2018, I beg your pardon, sitting in a Ferrari, managed to get himself a 106.9. That is a blisteringly quick time, and less than 10 seconds later you will find our guys here on SARCO coming in with their fastest times in cars which are also significantly slower. It just shows you that a number of these guys are very, very quick behind the wheel, and put behind the wheel of a Formula One car, of course, virtually, I think that they would match up very, very similar times to what the real guys do out there on the track. Fastest time outright, though, on the Red Bull Ring, coming in with Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari SF90. That was at last year's Austrian Grand Prix, and that was an almost impossibly quick time of just over 1 minute and 3 seconds. On a previous iteration of the track, Michael Schumacher, the great Formula One driver, he put in the fastest time ever there during the 2003 Austrian Grand Prix of 1:08. The original circuit, the fastest man on the original circuit, that was
Don't forget the invite, please, for myself and Steven. We just need the director. Sorry, Steven.
no problem at all. We have to work out these things when we're busy here. Juggling many things at once when we're sitting up in the commentary box, the virtual commentary box, of course. And as I was saying, back with the original circuit of the Formula, the Red Bull Ring, of course it wasn't called that back then, the 1975 Austrian Grand Prix, the great Niki Lauda with a Ferrari 312T coming in with a 1 minute and 34 second fastest lap ever on that circuit. Of course, what is important is that the Red Bull Ring is not just a racing circuit. It is also home to a number of concerts that have taken place there over the years, from Bon Jovi, the Rolling Stones, and AC/DC. are some of the great music acts that have performed at the Red Bull Ring.
Ashley?
Okay,
Ashley, you need to please give me an invite. I need the invite to the broadcaster, please. And Steven for the director. That's it.
We are in and ready to go this evening for the third qualifying session.
We're missing anyone. You've got Sean, Donovan, Fossil, Vaughan, Jakes. Where's Jakes?
Jakes is Connor.
Jakes is playing Fortnite. Okay, so he's obviously not racing.
Yeah, it's his son, yeah. He's watching the stream, that's for sure.
Okay, PMX Overdrive's not here. Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Yes, got connection problems.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go, guys.
Okay.
Is that a bit better? We go. So while we are waiting, load up. Red Bull Ring. It is located in a very, very pretty part of the world. Austria and Germany, rolling hills, pines all across of them must make for some awesome noises in those valleys and across those hills when you've got the V8 of the Renault coming through there. And here we are. Our guys going onto the track. These are the outlaps. Waiting for them to emerge from those pit garages.
So this is Swipe Pete is back. Guys, just let us know if the sound coming through is slightly better, please. That we have managed to get rid of some of the echo from Steven, but I don't know if it's fixed on our side. I can tell you something, that screaming of the V8 in my ear, I could listen to that all day.
It's a lovely noise, isn't it? And it's amazing how V8s can sound so very, very different. You're looking at the V8s that you'll find, a diesel V8, for example, in something like a Land Cruiser, compared to the American V8, the old 7-liter monsters that you'll find in 1970s American muscle cars. And even the German V8s that come from the likes of Mercedes-Benz AMG. A different firing order is what is responsible for those sounds. A roaring sort of very, very purposeful sound that comes out of those German V8s. All the way up to what you'll find in these cars you're looking at on your screen right now. Revving up to rather, I don't have those figures in front of me, but they'll be revving up to some insane number. Do you remember that the old V10s that we found in Formula 1 cars, they were blisteringly loud. They used to rev up to something like 12,000 RPM back then. For a V10, that is a high number. And of course, that is the sound to Formula 1 cars that most people remember. Pete having a bit of an off on his out lap. Oh no, sorry, I beg your pardon. That is the start of his first flying lap. He's going to need to find himself back heading in the right direction, just clear of the traffic. And back onto the black stuff. Heading up towards number 2 on the Red Bull Ring.
So Sly Pete wouldn't be able to go any faster. Because I'm pretty sure he has a 117 in there somewhere.
Maybe a 116? Have to wait and see. Marius is in this race as well. He was very, very quick in practice session, qualifying session number 1, I beg your pardon.
So I do think that slight P does have what it takes to go slightly quicker. And it just occurred to me, and I did realise that I actually should have mentioned it. But yesterday, during the qualifying session, Ross did 100 laps in that qualifying session. So I'm actually not surprised that he went fastest in his session.
Here we go, time's now starting to come in. In 017, just off 117 dead. Nemo in second. Less than 300ths of a second behind. Ash is moving down the list.
So guys, I did want to give everybody some running commentary in terms of where the times are. But it's just turning out to be a little bit too difficult to go back and bring up the Excel spreadsheet while trying to watch the race. So I do apologize, but we will do it at the end, get all the lap times in, and then we'll go put a post up on our Discord if you're watching there. Otherwise, please guys just check out our Facebook page and we'll put the post up this evening. Apologies.
Oh, and Dylan, what's wrong with you? Your wife surely says you'll be able to multitask, or is it only her who can?
If my wife sees what I'm currently doing, she will wonder why I don't always multitask. I hope she's not watching.
Are you changing here to Ashley now in second with a nice 17.2? Coming on the back straight-ish up to turn number 3. He's going to be going up that hill very, very shortly. Our man in front, Marius, is in the pits. Might be changing some settings, changing a car. No, he has just got himself out there. Let's switch back to our main view here. And find ourselves in the driving seat with Marius. Warming up those tyres now. Preparing to put in a flying lap.
Okay, Steven, I'm going to be trying something. We're going to do it live. So guys, I'm going to try something in 3, 2, 1.
Well, if Dylan can't be heard, he is trying to reach us all here on the live YouTube stream. I can hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. Seem to be worrying about comments. And fantastic racing that we're seeing here. Marius now coming up onto the pit straight. Is he going to better his 117.017? Doesn't seem like it on this particular lap. Tires should be nice and warm now. Racing very closely behind. It's Ash reaching over to a cockpit there. Just 241 hundredths of a second behind the man in front, Marius.
So guys, I don't know what to do. I've been trying with the settings, I keep playing. Just don't understand.
Dylan is trying everything he can to get himself back into the live stream if you are following us live on YouTube this evening. For some exciting racing coming to you from the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And from the comfort, every driver's own lounge or man cave.
You could hear those tyres fighting for grip there as Renault came out of Rimis. And I just want to give a big ups to my brother. Welcome, Sinky. Welcome for joining us.
Brandon telling us that Dylan is playing hide at this point in time. Hills are alive with the sound of Dylan's voice apparently, and he is trying to sort himself out. Ross, indeed, man cave on your side.
What?
Good. Oh, memorize these settings, Mr. Hall. Memorize them.
I'm never touching anything ever again. This is it. Mine's off. Mine's off.
Hands off everything. This is working now. We should finally have all of our audio issues sorted out. Oh, getting the back end loose there. Still doing well. He's chasing Arias's time.
So what I can do is just give us a quick rundown of what the guys did from the first lobby, just so we have some sort of idea in terms of the times that we can benchmark against. So just looking, currently Marius did a 116.3, Craig in the second session he did a 116.4. So anything quicker than a 160.2 then goes and sets the new benchmark.
With the pace that Lendl did have, he certainly looked like he was trying to get it up there. Switch our view over to our guy in front. Get some trackside action going here. These cars too look very, very good, aren't they?
Steven,
I like the fact.
Sorry, apologies. So Steven, what I wanted to say, it's absolutely fantastic to just watch some of the times that the guys are putting up. Yeah, I'm just looking at 6th place. There's Sly Pete. He started at a 119. He moved up to a 118.3 or so. Now he's gone and hit a 118 dead. And I know that leading up to this qualifying, we had in 5th place, that's Disaster Pox, but also known as Sean van der Linde. He was battling to get the car into the 119s, some help with the setup. I know that he spent some time with Marius, and all of a sudden, look at that, there he is in 5th place, 117.7. Great effort there from Sean.
Just over 3.5 minutes remaining of qualifying section number 3.
And in 7th place, that is Andrew Horn, putting himself on a 118.4, and he's just ahead of Alvain. Alvain a 118.6, and that is Terry Wolford in 119.1. I know that he's been saying he wants to get into those 118s, but it's good to see that time is coming down.
May just be able to do it. 2 minutes left of the session.
Whoa,
oh no, as we said.
Good catch there, Terry. Listen, that's progress. You will not believe how often you come down that hill and that rear steps out and you put it up against the wall.
Believe in cars as light and powerful as this, and even if your tires are even slightly cold, you're putting yourself in harm's way there. But the livery on that car looking very, very good. Sponsored by Namco Bandai.
Another driver that new to the series, joined halfway through last season, apologies. That is Tyler Scott in 10th place, and just behind him, that is Donovan. Donovan had a couple of issues with his connection, so wasn't able to do as much of the Super V8s that we did. So he unfortunately wasn't able to join.
Very, very solid times here now. If you look very carefully, you'll see that it's less than 4 seconds between all 13 drivers, I beg your pardon, participating in this qualifying session. So quick. Apart from our man in 13th, I think I made an error. I need glasses apparently. Looking at Wolf down in 13th place with a 122. He's got some work to do if he wants to find himself the top 5, having to shave off some 5 seconds from his time.
Yeah, so the Wolf, all the way from Italy, was in a practice lobby with some of the guys, and we invited him to come and race with us. And here he is, quite late this afternoon, he actually decided to join. So that's why we are seeing him further down the field. But it's great that he has come in and joined us. And in 12th place, that is Vaughan Hills. He too kind of joined us halfway through the first season. Oh, big lock up there for Wolf. Or his actual real name is Mihai. But Vaughan now able to race with us. So really good to have him. Well, that was Vaughan right up against that curb. That's definitely not going to help his cause.
For the traffic to pass. Oh, getting very, very close to passing traffic there. Tell you what, this is all about ethical racing and having the necessary etiquette on the track. One thing that a lot of eSports drivers will complain about, and you'll find that particularly in the Gran Turismo lobbies when you're looking with the lower orders, is guys blocking the track intentionally and stop other people from passing. There's no place for that in the real world of racing. So why is there any place for it in a game? A lot of people will ask. And that is it. Qualifying complete. Guys now going around for the last time, the last stab at moving themselves further up the racing order. At this point, time to beat 1:16.56 set by Marius. Lendl very close behind him. Look at that gap. Tiny, tiny gap. Swap over here. I went to it just the wrong moment, excuse me.
There we go. Sorry, Vaughan. We did not mean that. But as you can see, these cars are extremely fragile. So now it's all good and well during the qualifying. But once we get to the racing, minor touches can end your race. This is where you are talking about the discipline there, Steven, is you cannot touch another driver in these cars. They are like butter.
To see how they fare in the Euro NCAP, wouldn't you? No, on a serious note, these cars are safe. They are very, very safe. One of the first and foremost things with Formula 1, and of course applying across the board for all the FIA series, is safety. There we go. We have got our leaderboard results from that qualifying session. Marius claiming top spot there with a 1:16.56. In second, you'll find yourself the friend called Lendl. 5 from the United Kingdom. Very, very close behind Marius, 1:16.57, and Ash in third, one of our local guys, 1:17.153. Looking further down the order.
Sorry, Steven, we've just had Vaughan come on the stream and he goes, "You missed it." So you did manage to see himself. All in good form there, Vaughan. All in good form.
At the end of the day, looking at what separates all 13 of these drivers here, 6 seconds. That is it. 6 seconds between all 13 of these boys. And if you eliminate high at the very bottom, it's 4 seconds between the top 11 drivers, with Vaughan in 11th coming in a 1:20.122.
So guys, we're just gonna have a quick 2-minute break. Just need to go get some liquid for the mouth, and we'll be back in the next like 2 minutes or so. We'll just get that invite accepted.
How's the times looking? Should be into a 15, hopefully. We'll see.
I'll be back.
You are just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, streaming from around the world. We will be back very, very shortly. This is the SARCO Formula V8 League, brought to you by VX Gaming, NASCOM, very proud sponsors of our racing, and Deliver Your Parcel.
He's not okay, right? Colin is here. Rain Meister is here. Rudy is. Where's Rudy? Here. Yep.
Oh, there's the racing this evening.
Yes.
Oh, it's
hey,
absolutely
Steve.
like
All good, man.
Mimo joined finally. Where have you been, man?
So guys, you can hear
Hello, guys. Sorry about
just
that.
loading up the lobby in
you're
the
fine.
background there.
I'm not
Sorry,
sorry.
sorry.
I had a business call lasted like an hour and a half to keep that customer happy.
And we're just seeing that unfortunately Memo was not able to do his last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And that was because he did have a business call.
First things first, right? Priorities must be in the right place. You've got to earn some money to be able to all these expensive racing rigs, all these expensive consoles, and these TVs which you need to see all of the minor detail, minute detail, should I say?
You guys hear me?
And there we have Lendl. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Sorry, I'm late. I'm still getting used to all this stuff.
No worries. So, take us through your qualifying. Please tell us, are there actual nerves doing a qualifying race?
You wouldn't believe it, but actually, yes. I can't believe online racing makes me this freaking nervous.
And there we have Marius in the flesh. Let's just realign that quickly.
Hello
There he
guys.
is. Very, very good racing out there for the both of you this evening. It seems like you're having a good time on track. How are the cars?
Yeah, me and Lendl have a good battle going.
Yeah, I think Ross must still have a little bit of an edge on pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't go as fast in the first stint because this one was a little bit more unlucky with traffic. So a slower time than the first one. So let's see.
Hey.
There you are. Welcome.
Easy.
Hello, Lendl.
Nice to meet you guys.
Awesome.
Nou kan ek actually die ou sien wat my so jaag.
Well, listen, we are always trying to bring new and exciting things here to SARCO. Now, you're being live streamed across the South Africa to all 19 of our audience. Welcome.
Nothing is better than nothing.
Exactly. So, Lendl.
Rome wasn't born in the day, eh?
No, it wasn't.
Exactly.
Is that 115 attainable?
Yes, it is, but it's going to be hard. Very difficult.
Why is that?
But
What's the
obviously
reason for the difficulty?
Well, I don't know. My quickest that I've been was a disallowed lap, and it was a 1:16.2, but also ran wide, so it was disallowed. So I think my quickest actual proper lap was a 15.3 or 4. So I'm still a little bit off there, but I'm sure it's possible with the right setup and so on.
Right, no, awesome. So, guys, we are just going to transition away from this. We will keep a watch. Morris, you got one more session. Lendl, you've got 2, I think.
Not sure. I think so, yeah.
Right, lekker. Guys, the qualifying 4 is officially...
Good luck, Lendl.
So we'll chat you later. Shot. Cheers.
Yes.
For the time, gentlemen. Here we find ourselves looking at qualifying 4 this evening. And now you are looking at Rudy Base. 13th car on track. They are still... Oh, there's an off. There's an off.
He just Vaughan-heeled that.
Old tires, that's what you get, unfortunately. Let's have a look at our man in front. Up with times, just because he managed to get out of the pit lane first.
So, just a quick fact that Veritaris, we are currently looking, he's actually direct family to myself and Clayton Hall, who's watching on the stream. Memo is our cousin.
It's a pity because he seems to be... how did you tell him that you were... that you mentioned that he was your cousin at that exact moment because he decided to spin off? What happened there?
I think he was listening. And I think there was more like, no, why are you telling everyone?
His time's coming in here in qualifying 4. And finding himself up there in second. Oh, Ross.
So that's a 129. That's probably just his outlap. What we have forgotten to mention here is that these cars actually have DRS. So there's a few sections on the track where you're able to open that DRS, and that's not because you have an error to do so, it's just that it is safe to do so.
DRS puts a hell of a lot of power in a very short space of time to those rear wheels. If you're coming out of a corner, you don't have the downforce that you need on those back tires, no matter how hard they are, and you will find yourself pointing the wrong direction, or as Vaughan proved to us earlier, minus a wheel.
I think he was the first one that we actually captured having that lack of traction in the front.
No amount of balance on that car is going to help you out. This time's coming in here, and guess who is in front? Christopher.
But that's still 1.3 seconds away from the fastest time currently on a 1:16.3.
As we say that, oh wow, another off. Manages to save it, back into the pits and out once again. It's coming in with an even quicker time, improving on Christopher's time by some 0.03 of a second.
Well, Christopher does have a phrase, and it definitely starts with flat out, bud.
Flat out is the only way you should be doing it, going up that hill.
So we see
Towards
Wolf Gaming,
number 2.
he's joined us on the stream, and he says he has some work to do to improve my lap. But don't worry, Wolf, you still have a couple more sessions to go, and I'm sure you'll eventually get there.
You're doing well, my friend. You are doing very, very well. Right. Top 3 standings at this point in time with less than 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session. We can actually say top 4 now, separated by less than 500ths of a second. If you include top 5, that is just under 1 second between those 5 drivers. It's phenomenal to watch these cars going around the track at this kind of a pace.
And then I'm just watching the times. We see there's Sean van der Linde again, a 1:17.9. So that's pretty close to what he did the last time round. That's Gerard, he's in 6th place. We expect him to be going a little bit quicker. And then interestingly enough is that we do have Memo moving up into the 118. So I wonder if he'll be happy with that. Colin down in 11th place. Sorry, missed Rudy, he's in 10th. There's Gavin in 12th. Terry Wolford, he's in 13th place. And then Rainmaster, new driver to the series. He has confided me in private to say he'd rather remain anonymous.
Well, he's just put in a time of 1 minute 30, so perhaps still some temperature lacking from those tires.
So what might happen is the guys would actually be behind the start-finish line when they do their right lap, and that technically counts them as a lap, but not fast enough.
We've got to go up for a second one.
So still a 116 is still yet to be found, and as I say that, our current Super V8 champion, Christopher Radloff, he puts himself first, 116.6, but still 0.3 off our fastest time.
Well, if he's going to be looking to keep himself in the championship, he's either going to have some luck from who holds that fastest time at this point. It's a 116.3, so who holds that fastest time tonight?
I will have to change my screen. Please give me a moment.
Dylan is doing that. I can make mention of the fact that you are watching live, coming to you from South Africa. This is the South African Racing Online community. You are watching practice, I beg your pardon, qualifying number 4. This the first night, the first event, the first occasion of the Formula V8 League. These powerful cars weighing in at 123 kilograms.
So the fastest time is Marius on a 116.36, followed by Craig on a 116.445. Christopher, unfortunately I didn't capture that time, but we will be able to get it later on.
Look now, but look what Christopher's done. Well, 1.1. That is a new fastest time tonight.
So there, the challenge has been set. Christopher is currently the fastest man on track, and we just hope that we'll be able to get him into the lobby after this to come and chat to us, because I still have that question, will we see a 15? Brandon, he's moved himself up into 2nd place with a 117.2, and Ross down in 3rd with a 117.3. Where is Ross's 116s?
Oh, Christopher is showing that it's running a bit wide.
All I can say is Christopher is throwing everything at this.
Absolutely. I was just about to say exactly that. That must have been an absolute flyer of a lap. Real dedication, real focus coming from the driver's seat of that car. In fact, let's take ourselves down to the driver's seat with Christopher coming out of the pits now and heading up the hill towards turn 2 on the Red Bull Ring. Pulling up those tyres nicely as he is going to climb hard into the brakes now. He's dropping. We'll see now the kind of speed that he can pick up out of turn 2. So there's 200 k's an hour. Motor climbing well into the 9,000s or its red line. Down 200 k's an hour out of turn 3 on the hill. 200 once again. In the upper limits of 5th gear, and as he goes into turn 4, he is chasing hard. This is a very, very quick track. It flows beautifully through the hills. He's still got some lack of temperature in the tyres by the looks of it. Onto the main straight now. He's going to be going flat out. 30, 240, 250 coming up now into 6th gear. These cars are not as quick as Formula 1 cars. There is no doubt about that. But 260 is still very, very quick. That straight is not the longest of straights in the world. To achieve 260 on that is a lovely number. Going hard onto the brakes again, heading into turn 2. Top of the hill.
Second gear, just a quarter throttle, allowing the car just to roll up the hill, and then flat out here. You'll see your brake just past the 100-meter mark, down into second gear. Get that runoff as wide as possible. Now start tightening up to the right-hand side, just past 50, down to 3rd. We hold him in 4th. Maybe that's why he has that extra speed. He's going 1 gear. Well, I would have been gone 1 gear lower.
He's eliminating that gear change, which will make much of a eliminating the gear change like that can make one heck of a difference, especially even though rather you are using a sequential box as it is in the.
Okay, he just pulled out. I think what might have happened is he might have cut that corner a little bit too much, and unfortunately that would have invalidated his lap time.
Let's find ourselves on board with Brandon now, our man in 2nd. This approach to turns 3 and 4, see if they're anything like what Christopher does. Hard on the brakes into 2nd. And foot flat coming out of the corner. Activation of DRS here. Everything in it for Brandon now. He has got to push hard.
Brandon actually races open wheels in real life, so it's nice to see him moving up the order here. And whoa!
Must be there we go. Right, I thought as much. So it was a very sudden sleepy behind the wheel. Move down and see what our guy in 3rd is doing. Coming down. That looks like turn 3 to me. Cockpit views are absolutely fantastic. You feel like you're in the car with the driver. The GoPro mounted directly to his head.
So as thought, I did think that we'd have Carrot move up the order, and there is sitting in 5th place. We still have Sean van der Linde there in 6th with a 117.9. Rainmaster, he's got a 7th place, 117.96 versus Sean's 179.1. Whoa, that was extremely close.
Good camera time to change cameras too, no?
Big credit to our director there. So just over 1 minute to go.
A bit of racing still left in it. Here's the question: can Brandon get himself into 1st?
So I think with all respect I have for Brandon is that myself and him, we had some amazing battles. But I think to find another second might be pushing. But I have no doubt he might find another 0.4.
No, he has got it. That is going to be his final lap now, with qualifying set to close. This qualifying session set to close in less than 20 seconds now.
So you can see Brandon DRS open, going up towards Remus. As he now come down the hill at Rorsch. Will he lock up? No, he doesn't. And surprisingly enough, he didn't take much of that inside curb.
Valuable time you can lose by doing that.
I see he took a very late entry. But now he needs to straight line through there. That was very good. So I must say, this performance is looking absolutely fantastic. So Ross managing just to edge out Brandon there by, what is that, 0.024. And Brandon, unfortunately, will he move up? Here he comes towards the start-finish line. And we didn't get to see it.
That's the cliffhanger of notes, I think we'll call that.
No,
he finds himself
didn't go quicker.
Finds himself having moved down a place, actually. Very, very slightly to Ross in second during that qualifying session.
Okay, so we have just been given our new invites. Let's head off there now. And hopefully we can get Christopher to come and join us. So message here from Quinton saying, go Sean.
Finish it off.
Yeah.
5-minute quality race.
Is Dylan also qualifying here?
I will be joining you in that lobby as soon as I can. Invite, I'm sure, going to be coming in a minute or two. There it is.
Race director and broadcaster, please. So let's just drop Christopher a message.
The music stopped. Peter, have I stolen your team's colors?
Say what?
Have I stolen Slap Pete's colors?
Who's kicking Dylan?
So the guys playing fun and games here. There's some votes to kick me coming through here. He's like so funny.
Well, it doesn't help choosing
like
now.
you very much,
it's
do
all
they?
going to depend on what lobbies and stuff we end up in.
Ja, I don't know, number 11.
Ja, het woont ook zo
Little extra grip with
Who's voted to kick Dylan off?
Question, Mr. Hall, would it be a bit of a bad move if I voted to kick you as well?
Well,
would it be...
You wouldn't be the first one wanting to kick me, so go ahead, kick away.
I don't know, I'm voting to kick Mario.
Oh, I see someone's coming back. Arias is getting himself a vote.
Who's voted
on this lobby?
I have no idea, it just says voted to kick Mario.
So now I'm starting to see who wants to get kicked, and they're voting to kick Morris, and they're voting to kick Alvain. So no love lost here, that's for sure. Christopher, please, if you can come and join us in the chat party, in the Discord, that would be fantastic. We definitely want to have a chat, please.
Tino's here. RS is here. NGC.
Yeah, I'm here.
you pass?
Maybe.
That's good for you. Wolf. Tabasco. Troy. Does anybody?
Troy's unfortunately out this evening, Ashley.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, he's out, isn't he?
Okay, guys, get those thumbs up when you're ready. Okay, guys, let's go.
I see Ashley's getting some votes to be kicked now. Who are playing these games? Here we go. As we wait for practice, I'm saying practice, as we wait for qualifying session number 5 to begin, rather intelligent, a little bit of banter going on between the drivers.
But you can see the chat that comes up on the Discord saying, why would you want to kick the boss?
Good question, don't you think?
So we do have a new standard, a 116.12 has been set by Christopher Flatout Folder, also known as the Foldover. It seems that that one caught you a little off guard there.
Are you talking to me? Hello.
Ross.
How's it going?
Absolutely fantastic. How's your qualifying treating you?
It's been up and down. So I had a good first session. I think I got 16.5 now. The last session was a bit of a dog's dinner for me. But I'm enjoying it. I'm like absolutely loving these cars. Spend all day just circulating in them. I'm looking forward to the first race, really. Just want to get on with it.
So Ross, yesterday I was in a practice lobby with you where you ended up doing 100 laps. How many laps have you done in total in preparation for this qualifying?
About 101.
Plus two 50-minute sessions.
Plus the 5% laps I've done for these sessions, yeah. But, like most of my practice has been in that section, and I can't wait to get to Fuji. It's a bit of a different circuit. Very, very high emphasis on top speed. But yeah, I'm gonna hopefully stick in 100 laps around there as well, at least.
No.
Before this time next week.
That is great to know. And don't worry, I'm sure we'll see you on track. And we need to get StevenInded into one of these cars before his next race.
Oh my word, you are asking a lot. I must tell you, I'm a Gran Turismo sports fan. And when I first bought Project Cars 2, I tried old 1969 Mercedes 300 SEL 6.9 on track, and I all my behind so many times, going around so many corners. I think the same would happen here. So let's hold off on that idea for a little bit. Why don't we do it?
I think you've volunteered yourself.
All right. So just quickly, the man of the moment, Christopher. going and smashing a 116.121. When's that 15 coming?
Dylan, I'm pushing for 15. I was a little bit quicker and had a bit of traffic in that last session, unfortunately, but these things happen. We'll see. Hopefully next session I can put in a 15 there for us, for myself and Jakes.
All right, Laka, listen, we're just going to get our faces off the screen so we can see what's happening in the background. And just so that everybody who knows is with me not being in the racing and being the alpha of the Black Mamba team, I've stepped down and allowed Christopher to take the reins there.
Cheers, bud. Thank you.
Only a pleasure. So go and do the Black Mamba's pride. And just remember, Christopher, Mamba fever, it's a thing.
And I'm pretty sure everyone's feeling it at the moment.
And the format, are you happy with the way we run this qualifying?
Oh yes, absolutely. It gives everyone an absolute fair chance to get a lap in. And yeah, with 3 practice sessions or 3 qualifying sessions at least, you can definitely hone in on your times and just keep going quicker and quicker. So the cream of the crop will always rise to the top.
I hope you went and put that on your profile on your on the website. I'm definitely going to go and see if you've added that.
Flat out, man.
You see, I knew it would come. So Christopher Schott, thanks for joining us. You've got one more session left, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it will come after this next one. Yeah, that's on at the moment.
All right, awesome. We'll catch up with you later. Thanks for joining us.
Flat out, cheers, man. Only a pleasure, man. Cheers, Steve.
Find ourselves back on track. It's qualifying session number 5. Lendl been paid to the idea that he's anything but 1:16.871 right at the beginning of the session. There is less than 10 minutes remaining here. But Marius chasing hard, wanting to close that gap of less than 1/100th of a second. On van der Linde in third with a 1:18 dead. Very, very pretty looking time. Satisfies my OCD greatly.
So that is that in third place. That's actually Carrot. And yes, it definitely rounds off the number pretty decently.
There we go. And as I mentioned it, no, he decides he doesn't like round numbers anymore, and he posts something even faster. 1:17.3. That's very, very quick as well. That's right down the bottom end. It's amazing. You can see that these guys have been matched quite well in all of these qualifying sessions, because guys on track now, they are it's quite a wide variance at this point with less than 9 minutes to go. At the end of the order, it is some real competition to find themselves on pole.
And I must say, I am really enjoying these little rivalries that may be starting to creep up with the likes of Marius and Lendl. We can already see that in the season they're going to be getting very, very close together.
Absolutely. We're going to see Lendl coming up now on the straight. Is he going to pass it? No, he has still got his 1:16.8 into the pits. We have a new man at the top, Marius, 1:16.4.
So Marius is still 0.1 off his fastest lap, but we have seen him do a 1:16.1 in a qualifying practice session.
Is there a 1:15 in the equation?
That's
a
not
little
going to
bit
work.
wide. A little bit wide.
But I think now in these later stages, this is when the guys are going to really start pushing, because now they've got their times in, and now it's about going as close to the limit without burning it as possible now.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at one of our newcomers, Gavin at the very bottom. He's going to be posting his first flying lap here with a bit of luck. No, he will need to go out to do one more. Is possible because he has been making contact with the track, or he has violated the track limits.
So those last two corners are extremely sensitive to the track limits. You've got to make sure that you have at least one of those wheels inside of the white line, or else it will invalidate their lap.
And some of these guys have been trying to take liberties with that approach. Even being one of them, but that Panasonic car looking very, very good going around turn 3 there, down the hill, heading up through turn 4. Let's stay with him for the moment and see if we can get ourselves into the cockpit with him now. There we go. Some nice speeds here coming into the penultimate turn.
Got a little lock up there from the driver in front. Not too sure who that is. But he might be able to get a slipstream advantage here. He decides to move out the way. So Gavin will cross the line.
Oh wow! Well, fantastic time.
Whoa!
Oh, and out. Oh, wow.
Not sure who the driver in the red car was, but he should have given Gavin way there. But Gavin able to put in a 118.319. So that's definitely to put him up the order.
Well, with less than 6 minutes on the timer for this session, maybe he can even improve on that. If we look at the middle order there between 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, less than a second between all of them.
What I would actually want to do is get Sly Pete to come and join us as well, because for some reason he's just not finding that pace that he had in the practice session yesterday. There he's sitting on a 119.4, and I definitely expected to be going quicker. And here we have Pete with his DRS enabled going through turn number 6. That is extremely brave.
Good line going through that corner. You have the right line, you have the right speed. You're going to find success.
So Memo just dropping us a message here on the live chat on the YouTube. Whoa, that was close. Well saved there, Pete. Well saved there. Memo just saying that unfortunately he had a business call for his 2 qualifiers, but we'll see if we can get him into some of the others.
I want to know is who is driving that red car that we can see behind Pete. I'm going to scroll to the list to see if I can find out who that is.
Try number 11.
Indeed, it is Wolf. Well spotted. I think he is, as you were saying, perhaps a bit new to the car and perhaps having some trouble getting to grips with it.
Yep.
That's all luck up there.
A little bit too wide there going into turn number 3. But there's still time before we have the first race, and one of the things I did mention to the drivers is that when they are practicing, they need to please practice with other drivers around them. Because what happens, you get into a situation, you go into turn number 1, you actually don't anticipate how slow the first 6 cars or so are, because the guys are just being cautious and they'll end up rear-ending each other.
It's a pity. Becomes a bit of a washing machine effect there at the end of the main straight, but again, he will get there. I think he will certainly get there. You know, some decent time behind the wheel as he is spending now. We'll see Nahai going well up the list in a few sessions time. Mark my words. Let's return to
4th place, so he bettered his time. He was sitting on a 118.1. He now finds himself on a 117.584. So that's good enough for 4th in this session. And KRT2 has gone quicker, I think by 0.1 or 0.2, if I don't remember correctly.
Let's stay with
So guys, if you are still on the stream, give us a message, give us a shout out, say hi to your mom, say hi to my mom, whoever you want to, and we will definitely broadcast it for you.
Your commentators, some love. That's an interesting approach to that corner, shifting right down into first gear of Marius there. I wonder if that was an attempt to be a bit late on the brakes and work the gearbox. No sign of first gear going through turn number 3. Let's see what approach he takes here. You know that Christopher sticks.
And you see, interestingly enough, is he went down to third to get that car to rotate, where Christopher likes to rather let the car roll out with the speed and carry the speed, where Morris wants to accelerate sooner. So two very different driving styles.
And less than 300ths of a second between them. Oh, a little bit of a tank stepper coming out there. And onto main straight. You can see how good the physics are in this game. Take a look at that aerial vibrating ahead there. And the mirrors on these cars. Wow! Past some traffic there. Who was that?
So Memo actually did send out a shout out to my mother. Hello, Auntie Rat. And yes, my mother was known as Auntie Rat, but that's for another day. And Memo, she's my granny. So we can see who Craig is backing. He's just said, come on Ash, let's get another East London Carter to hassle those mumbers. So just about 10 seconds to go. So all the messages coming through from our mom, from Jake's, hello Auntie Hall, and from Brandon, how's it Dylan's mom? I will send the love, guys, I will send the love. So thank you guys for sending the message. It's interesting that my brother hasn't sent a message to my mom.
You playing the guild card? It looks like you are.
Hey, I am the better brother. I was first. And that will conclude round number 5. So Marius not able to go quicker.
Did shave 5 more or less from his time. Coming down from a 0.035 from a 460 down to a 425. Staying well within the realms of that 1 minute 16 time. Some drivers still out though, perhaps competing some flying laps. Let's see if we can scroll through the order here, find out if there are any more. Looks like Ash is certainly, he's back in the pit as well. That me appears to be qualifying complete. And over to you for the results.
So yes, Marius, he goes quickest, but unfortunately he has not improved on his time. Just want to bring up the previous results to see if I had got a time here for Lendl. And unfortunately we hadn't captured one for him. But don't worry guys, after all 6 of the sessions are done, we will be getting all the results together as one. Unfortunately, it has been just a little bit too tricky because I've had to change my front screen, which is actually bringing up the actual game itself, while it's too small to actually look and see on my PC monitor, so I have to look at the full view. So it's just the switching that is causing some trouble.
What you need is another Dylan. That's what you need.
No, what I need is another screen. Wait.
You're gonna have to have your one eye. You're gonna have to look at having your one eye pointed at one screen and your other eye at the other. That'll solve your problem.
Okay, so we're just waiting for the final invites to come through. And
Nice to see
Jakes,
Gavin putting in.
you are 100% correct that it looks like everybody is targeting the Mumbers. So there we have our new invites.
Us here, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on YouTube this evening with the South African racing community online Formula V8 3.5 League. What you are seeing before you is preparations for qualifying session number 6, the last one of this evening.
Fix my mic.
So we just turn off that commentary in the background there. So let's bring up the cameras once again. So there we are. So Steven, we currently have about 6 drivers that are within a second of each other. The midfield is going to be extremely tight. What I'm not sure of is what those times would be and that cutoff, considering we are only taking 12 drivers into Tier 1.
It's going to be very, very interesting. I think Chris is going to be up there. I think Marius is certainly going to be up there. Will we find Ross in those in that really top order of Tier 1? I think there's a very good chance of that. Who else do you think will find themselves up there? From that last session, I saw Gavin having put in a very, very solid time down in 3rd place. He could find himself there. It seems to be that there's all to play for at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what the final results look like, of course. But
and we definitely can't discount Connor. He put in some really good times there, as well as Craig. So that's already got us just about 10 drivers. It's going to be very, very interesting.
We are about to head out onto the Red Bull Ring, home of the Austrian F1 Grand Prix.
So I see that they have been able to start without us, needing to push buttons. Thank you, Ross. We are seeing it, and we've got you.
If you think about all of the mechanics that need to come together for something like this to work, where you've got people driving from all over the world joining us here from the southern tip of the African continent, streaming live all over the world courtesy of YouTube, very proudly brought to you by VX Gaming, Ascom, and Deliver Your Parcel.
So guys, please go to the description. All the details are down there, and you go and support the businesses that are supporting SARCO. That would be fantastic.
Right, our guys now moving on to the track, out of the pit lane.
Let's
on board right now. Absolutely, you are on board right now with one Ross. You want to get some temperature into those tires. Yes, this game is that realistic. You must get temperature into your tires before you're going to put in a flying lap. Not only does that improve your grip, it improves your downforce. A nice example of it there. Coming into the corner back a little bit too hot.
So the guys to be looking out for in this session, we have Christopher once again. We have Steven. I'm hoping that he's able to get into those 118s. Ronaldo, he has officially qualified for this championship into Tier 1, but he will be quick. We'll definitely see him possibly get into those low 117s. Brandon, he's also coming up there. Remember, he just wasn't able to get out of those 17s, so I'm sure he's still looking for his 16. Ross, he's going to be quick. That was a bit weird. Might have been just a little bit of lag.
Now coming up the main straight underneath lights and to set their fastest times. Oh, Ross running wide. A little bit lag there. Oh my word.
Yo, I closed my eyes. I got such a fright.
Amazing how these cars appear out of nowhere in front of you. You can't even. Oh, that's a spin. That's a spin. Tires too cold, perhaps. Back to the pits. Not going to waste time with that lap.
What it looked like he might have done, I think he might have just grabbed that lower gear just a little bit too soon. So it just unsettled the car, and then when he got into the power, because that rear was already stepping out, he had nowhere else to go. Well, we're getting a bit of lag there from Ross.
A little bit, find ourselves what's happening in the cockpit of Mr. Folder. Oh no, that's going to be potentially an invalid lap time. He may have gone outside of the track limits. Doesn't appear to be so, because he's now clocked himself at 1:16.3, fastest time of the session so far. For his first lap time, that was very, very quick. Could we find ourselves certain Mr. Folder having a 1:15 during the session? Well, the only way to find out is to stay tuned.
You can see him fighting that car as he comes up over the hill.
I didn't like that lap. Didn't like that lap. Look at what is happening in second place. Who is that?
That is Ronaldo. RVR18 SNVL. So Ronaldo, we had a good couple of battles during our original RSO1, but then he went and he struggled to finish that season due to a lot of disconnections, a lot of internet problems, and Ronaldo kind of just slipped away, and it was probably the last season or so where his line has become stable, and now he's able to come and race us without too many issues. So it's really great to have Ronaldo as one of our consistent members now at SARCO.
Nice to see him back. Or heading up straight and hard onto the brakes. Let's go to the cockpit. See what kind of speed he's going to be doing up the hill in turn 2. Already 250 kilometers an hour. Hard on the brakes down into first gear. Interesting maneuver. A risky maneuver as well. Putting the power down too soon in first. We'll see those rear wheels. I had to kick you off like a bucking bronco.
That is not joking. So great entry there for Ronaldo.
The rest open, heading down the hill.
Will he go into third? Yeah, so he does use the gate. Same kind of selection that Morris does.
Engine to fourth quite early there, halfway through the corner, and nice line. Turn 6 and onto that straight, heading down to the penultimate corner.
This is where it gets a bit tricky. You won't be able to get just it. Seems like that was okay. Might have cut that corner. Let's see if he does get a lap time as he crosses the start-finish line. So Ronaldo does go faster. He's now on a 117.5. So great effort there. There was a cone flying in the air there. I don't know if anybody managed to catch it.
Still a big gap though. Up in front, more than a second clear of the drivers. Oh no, we've got somebody on the side there having a picnic by the looks of it. We have got at least a second between first and second position. This qualifying session. Ronaldo clearly be pushing very hard. There's a second, quite slow through that corner. Might just be the lag playing up a little bit. DRS open, full speed down here. And down into third.
I think it's a little bit wide, he might run off. Yeah,
there it is. It is. Is he going to abandon the lap?
So we got a comment here from
bravery.
Craig Thompson saying there is a big downforce drop when you're following another car. That felt like the cars went through Ronaldo.
You've got to be careful there. Those mirrors are there for a reason. Very aware of your surroundings. You're driving high-powered cars like these, especially open-wheel cars where things can get very tricky very quickly. I found the cone, by the way. It hasn't been cleaned yet. Still on the track.
Fantastic.
Need to get our race officials out there to go and clean that up.
So
You
we've
know
just
the
seen
swap.
Brandon. He's gone and done himself a 116.58. So Brandon is officially in the 116 club. So that's just going to tighten up that top 10 even closer. The Horn Dog, he moves himself up into 4th place, but we seem to have lost Brandon. I'm so confused what's going on.
Does appear to be Brandon has lost the connection, but he'll be able to rejoin.
But because we have his time on the stream, we saw his time, that is the time that will be used because we have record of it.
In place, as you can see on the grid, left-hand corner of your screen, see a missing number 2. That's where Brandon should be. And because of the nature of eSports and what can be bad internet connections at times, we must play fair.
So for this coming season that's coming, is in the last season what we do is we have a 8-race season, but only 7 of your races count, and we drop your lowest one, where the votes for the season, the guys wanted every single race to count. So here, wherever you finish for the next 8 races, will be counted towards your championship points.
That's how it should be. It's not like school. You get to ask the teacher, how many of the tests of this year count? At the end of the year. Quite worked that way.
The reason we did that is that because disconnections happen, and there's nothing worse than practicing for weeks. You come to a race, you disconnect, and then you get 0 points. At least you have an opportunity to still be competitive within a championship by only having 7 of those counted.
News now coming in the race feed that Brandon managed to get himself disqualified for a pit lane. Oh no. Christopher finding a big off there. Don't know what happened there. We will have to look at that footage. See exactly what the reason is. Finding himself back in the pit lane, not going to waste time with that lap. Scroll down to our first man in the 119 category.
So that is Colin, and he will be racing with Dayco Racing because his teammate is actually NGC, that is Dane. And the two of them also have a very interesting relationship.
If it makes for good racing and it makes for a good partnership in the cars, I'm all for it.
Well, it is a father-in-law and a son-in-law.
Oh really? There you go.
So we see further down the order, Donovan unfortunately struggling, not able to get anywhere near out of those 20s. Timmy Wolford struggling at 121.2. Ross down in a 120.4. He must be having an absolute nightmare trying to get a lap in.
It could be different settings that are used for the car, which he's playing around with to see and get some more some more grip out of the car to improve his lap times. Not working for him around now. We will see he is in the pits on his way out, trying to warm up the tyres before he hits the track. Look up there from, is that Memo?
That is Memo. The real name, Agamemnon, Memo for short. So he will actually be racing with Marshall. The two of them race together for the Chasing Beavers team. But now we need to just check with Marshall moving up into the Alpha tier. And should Memo not get there, will they still be considered teammates, or will there be a few members being recruited to the Chasing Beavers?
Not quick enough to move up the order.
Memo's still doing a 118.7. Whoa, big catch there in the background.
It's a tax that world note. Even up in 4th place at the moment. Putting in a solid 117.5. And being part of the 117 club, comprising in this. Oh no, big off at the bottom there.
Steven. So Steven currently 4th fastest here.
So by switching cameras, these guys
won't be improving there.
Yeah, we are less than a minute away from the end of this, the 6th and final qualifying session for this evening. Christopher still the man to beat, showing why he was last season's winner. 1:16.352. Let's find ourselves making him head inside the car.
So guys, just remember that even though Brandon disqualified himself from the qualifying, that time will stand, because essentially he disqualified himself to qualify further, but he still would have been able to start in that position in the actual race. Just so that we clarify that now, and there aren't any weird questions later.
Looking at the race feed, we'll see that Ross having some mechanical issues with his car. That could be one of the reasons why he's unable to make it down to the teens section of this time.
So Christopher crosses the lap and he just misses that 115. So unfortunately, the 115 is not found here at the Formula Renault 3.5 V8 qualifier. Will this be a donut? No. He decides to just pull off and go in. So we'll definitely want to get Christopher to chat to us here.
This guy's putting in their
Unfortunately, not going quicker. The Horn Dog, he gets himself into the 118s, under the 118, so he's in the 117 club. Great effort there. And we see that Marshall disconnected, but that is not a problem. So you'll see there Brandon's time does still hold with that 116.958. He just wasn't able to continue.
Ronaldo coming in third. the 117.5. He is the first man in the 117 club. Less than half a second between those drivers from 3rd through to 7th. That concludes the qualifying session for this evening's proceedings.
So I do hope that we can get Christopher in here. But Steven, just from a racing point of view, the times that the guys have been putting on, they are very close, considering if you think of some of the lap times that we had. So from first all the way down the field, we're probably looking at about 2 seconds across 32 drivers.
Absolutely. That's amazing. That's amazing. It just shows you the benefits of having a single car race like this. It really does eliminate a lot of the uncertainties can come about by using multi-make races, and this is nothing but a test of raw skill to come from these drivers, and I hope that they will be able to entertain us as much as they have tonight when the formal races do begin. And
Yes, so
when is that scheduled for?
That is scheduled for next week, and our first race is, if memory serves me right, I want to say Fuji, but it hasn't been, I didn't check it. So the next race is, please stand by. Yes, it is Fuji. The format for the race is a 40-minute lap, a 40-minute race, but there is a pit stop that the guys have to do. It is a mandatory pit stop, so even though we aren't able to set it as a mandatory pit stop, the guys will be required to go. Should they not do the pit stop, there will be additional time added to the end of their race, and that will most definitely change where they end up.
That is how a lot of the endurance races, especially with the classical historic racing that happens in South Africa, Legends of the 9 Hour is a good example of that, where even though a car will be able to go through a 45-minute session without necessarily needing to visit the men in the pits, they do come in for a short pit stop as part of the nostalgic aspect of Legends of the 9 Hour. It's exactly the same principle which will be applied to this racing that we're seeing and that we will be seeing rather next week, Thursday.
So as you guys saw, is that the only way I was able to type was directly on the screen so you could all see. But now we just invited Marius and Christopher into just so we can have one final chat before we wrap it up. So next race. So our pole sitting qualifier, even though you didn't have to qualify, a 116.051. What happened to your 15?
I threw it away on the last corner, to be honest with you. In the end, my potential dropped to a 15.6 on that last lap. It was sitting at a 16 dead, and it was just one of those laps, and threw it away on the last corner, man. Unfortunately.
That's absolutely incredible. So, Marius, the second fastest time.
How's it, bud?
Second fastest time for you, Marius. And what we noticed is that going through turns 3 and 4, that both of you are taking the car, they're taking the corner in different gears. So, Marius, you're always
Christopher
just
stays
one
second
gear
up there.
down. So,
I
very
actually
interesting.
tried it.
Well,
but that was an awesome lap, that last one. Awesome.
Thanks,
lap.
bud. Thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, cool. I can't wait for the championship to happen when I look at the times.
So,
no, it's incredible. It's going to
guys,
be amazing.
I do apologize. I wasn't able to multitask and get that updated as we were going. There was just so much happening, so much to play around with, but we will get it up shortly. And then, guys, to the races, this format, what did you guys think about it?
Oh, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Only one word. It's cool. I enjoy it. if it's going to go on like this, I don't know. I can't wait for the race. So, yeah.
Remember, before we get to that race, we still have Monday.
I haven't even thought of that. I haven't even thought of what if I'm going to use a Sierra or this Merc. I'm you know.
All right. Also
excited for this one. And there's Sunday as well. I don't know where to,
hey,
first.
coconuts.
Yeah, flat out. Unfortunately, I can't join on the Sunday, but Monday I haven't even thought of which car. I've driven the Merc once or twice, but I haven't touched the others. So
For the Sierra, you know you want to.
It's calling me, and I'll have to test it and see. I've got to think about my teammate as well. We've got to make a choice together, and unfortunately, he's out to drive, so I've got to make a choice for both of us. Hopefully, he likes my choice, and yeah, we'll definitely have fun, and I can't wait for the championship. It's going to be amazing. The times are so close. It's going to be incredible.
Cool, awesome. And then just a quick one for you, Marius. Driving as the Silverback Racing, do you have a potential teammate? Because you know that Mamba Fever, it's a thing.
Yeah, I'll have for this season. I'll have to take it alone. Lots of pressure, but this season I'll be scouting for a Silverback teammate. Awesome,
love it.
So I see there's lots of potential. There's very fast guys now that's sitting on me and Christopher's behind. So it's very exciting. Very exciting.
Awesome.
Cool.
Guys, thank you so much. We will be back, as mentioned, on Monday for the qualifiers. Unfortunately, we don't live stream the Sunday races, but the first race will be at Fiji in the Renaults. And just keep watching our Facebook page as well as our website, and we will get up all the results coming soon. And to the guys on the Discord, we'll be there now.
Thank you, guys. See you, Christopher, on track.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, bud.
Let out.
Let out.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Thanks for listening. Cheers, cheers, bye.
Cheers. And to my co-commentator, Steven, thank you so much for your time. Really, really do appreciate it. And we'll catch up for Monday. Otherwise, we'll see you on Sunday. On Thursday.
See you on the flip. You're going to get it right eventually. Don't worry.
I will. Once I've got my three screens, I'll be okay.
There you go. No, you know what? This was a phenomenal racing that we saw here tonight. The guys really throwing down the gauntlet to a number of their competitors to see exactly how they can improve on those times in the race itself. When pressure comes to bear, and when you've got all these guys on track fighting amongst each other, open wheel to open wheel, I think we're in for some fantastic racing come next week, Thursday.
And with that, guys, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, so you will be notified every time we do go live. We do live stream 2 races every week. So until then, thanks for watching. Yos.
It's for now.